Hello and welcome back to Too Many Books. My name is Sean, and today I would like to talk to you about Ascension by Nicholas Binge. Now, this particular edition that I'm showcasing here in the video is the signed edition from the Broken Binding, but I'll go into more details about that once I'm done talking about the novel proper. Ascension was an interesting read. It asks the question of what if Jeff VanderMeer's Southern Reach series was combined with John Krakauer's Into Thin Air, and what you end up having is Ascension. It is a novel about a strange mountain that suddenly appears in the Pacific Ocean to the confusion of every nation and scientific community around them, although it's kind of, kept a secret to the general public. And what you end up getting is an epistolary novel. It's a novel told through the form of letters. It's almost its own fictional novel within a novel. It has its own forward and afterward, setting up the premise that the protagonist, one Harold Tunmore, was a scientist who was hired to explore this mountain. He was joined with a whole group of scientists from all different fields of study, as well as ex-military and special forces from all sorts of different nations as they undertake this quest of ascending the mysterious mountain. And I will say the epistolary format is kind of where it lost me. I mean, it was a decent read. First and foremost, it was a very decent read. There is some weird stuff going on this mountain. Their own sanity is played with. Time is not what it seems. Very early on when he arrives at the mountain, he's talking to somebody who seems to age and then de-age miraculously over the point of a conversation. Like, the people are losing track of time, losing track of where they are. There are strange things happening on this mountain, and it soon becomes apparent that they are not alone on this mountain. And I will say that the concept definitely had me fascinated. And it's presented in a way that is page-turning. I wanted to know more. I wanted to, just like Harry and the rest of the team, I was compelled to see where this story was going, hoping to, get answers to what they're going to find at the summit. And yes, I will say they do find answers at the summit. I find that the ending was a little disappointing. I mean, it's not vague at all. You definitely get a definitive answer. It's just not quite what I was expecting. But as I was starting to say, I think probably the biggest problem I had with the novel is the epistolary style. Now, some of the chapters, some of the letters, all of these chapters from Harry are letters that he wrote to his niece Hattie. Most of them are dated, for as long as he can keep track of what date it is. And it's apparent that some of the letters, particularly some at the later half of the novel, were written after his journey up this mountain. But it's the ones that are written while they're ascending the mountain that just don't quite seem to fit. I mean, it's an interesting narrative style, but it's hard to believe that, after he just survives an encounter against the other things that are on the mountain, that he's going to sit down in a cave and say, you know what, Hattie, I'm going to write a very, very detailed letter about what just happened. Like, including all of the dialogue that was spoken, including all the actions that occurred. It just, I don't know, it didn't quite fit for me. I mean, but all in all, I mean, if you are a fan of Jeff VanderMeer's Southern Reach, I would say trilogy, but it's really a fourth novel now, his Southern Reach series, his Area X series, then you should really check out Ascension, because that is probably the best comparison I can give. It's Area X meets Into Thin Air. It's even the naming, even the nomenclature of the novel is kind of hand in hand with VanderMeer's titles. VanderMeer had Annihilation, Authority, and Acceptance, and Absolution, which is the fourth one, and then Nicholas Binge has Ascension. So it's even named similar to Jeff VanderMeer's titles. Whether that is, a slight nod to VanderMeer's works, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting read. Like I said, the epistolary style of the letters to Hattie didn't quite ruin it for me. It still had me engaged from front to back, because it is telling a very fascinating story that you want to know more of. But kind of in hindsight, as I was, finished reading it, I'm like, I don't know. Some of the chapters, it just seemed a little odd at points. But yeah, Ascension, it came out 2 years ago from Nicholas Binge. Harper Voyager published it over in the UK. I don't know who published it here in the US, but you should be able to find a copy wherever books are sold. Hell, I think the Broken Binding might even still have copies available. I know Broken Binding did do his follow-up novel. I say follow-up. It's not a sequel to Ascension. It's its own another standalone title. But the name is very similar. I think that one's called Dissolution. I haven't picked that one up, but I'm intrigued too. I might pick it up. It seems to have gotten slightly better reviews than Ascension, but which, you know, I enjoyed Ascension, so I think I might enjoy his follow-up novel. So anyways, I believe copies might still be available from the Broken Binding. If not, it is just kind of a fancy trade edition with nice little sprayed edges. And of course, it is signed by Nicholas Binge and limited to 1,000 copies, not 100 copies. But if you don't want the fancy edition, you can probably find copies of Ascension wherever books are sold. I mean, it's not, like I say, it got a wide release. But anyways, Ascension by Nicholas Binge, I don't think it's technically his debut. I think he had one prior to this, but it was a good debut for me as a reader going in. You know, it makes me want more, even if I did have some flaws with the read itself. But anyways, that's Ascension by Nicholas Binge. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you want to check out more of these reviews. I do at least one book review a week with plenty of unboxings in between here and there, such as Broken Binding unboxings like this title. So anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you around next time.